Hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. It was good to see all you guys on the Zoom call that were there. And I'm just going to wait about, let's see what we've got. About 30 more seconds to let some more people come on, and then we're going to jump right in so that we can still be on time with our call to Greg. We've got lots of drywall dust in my lungs. Hey, Matt. The other room, Christopher helped with James Cole the other day getting the drywall put up, and we've got that all up. And today we taped and mudded everything. So yeah, by the end of this week, this garage is going to be pretty close to ready to go, which is super awesome. And then we just need people to be allowed to do things. And I can have voice students. All right. Okay, let's get diving in. We're going to do some warm-ups first, like we always do. And then I'm going to do a kind of a quick little introduction to our guest and then play a video. And then we'll get him on and, yeah, go from there. So let's stand up tall. Stretch if you need to. I know some of you are sitting comfortably by a pool or in your cars or wherever you might be, but try to get into the best position for singing that you can. Oh, Doug. Yep, that earworm is now in my head. Thanks. All right, check your alignment. Make sure that your ear holes are over the top of the shoulders, over the middle of the hips, over the middle of your ankles. And take a deep breath in and out. Good. Another deep breath in. And one more. All right, I'm going to move my camera here a little bit so we can see a little more. Make sure that you are expanding your rib cage. Pat, you really need to change your display name somehow on your YouTube account so you are no longer Thoroughbred Fall Contest 2016. Really get that rib cage expanded. One more of these into a siren. Take these headphones off for now till I get on that call. Good. Sing with me. Viva, viva, viva. A bit different. I'm going to add more V's in there. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. 2, 3, and viva, 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 va, 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 va. Down. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. And down. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. And down. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. Do. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. And again, try not to really blow a lot of air out as you're singing this. Just enough to make the tone and just enough articulation to make the clarity come through. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. Where are we? Not bad. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. One more. Viva, 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 va, 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 va. All right. Now some upward singing. Really get this tone going up there. We're going to kind of throw the tone up into our head voice. Before we do that, everybody kind of speak up here. Ha! Hey! Hi! Ah! Ah! And really focus on your breath so that your rib cage is still expanded and we're not suddenly getting all up here. Ah! We're not looking for that sound. Ah! All right, and fee, fie, fia, fee. Sorry, fie, fio, fia. We're using a th sound, and e, o, e, a. Fie, fio, fia. 3 and fie, fio, fia. Do. Fie, fio, fia. Do. Fie, fio, fia. Ooh. Fie, fio, fia. Do. Fie, fio, fia. As we're getting higher here, let it kind of throw up. Let the sound get thrown up into that space. Fie. We're very open here, and we let the resonance kind of flip up into the head, but the larynx still stays pretty stable. Fia, fio, fia. If it gets a little bit nasal, that's okay for now. I'd rather that than fia. Really let it ring up top. Fia, fio, fia. 3 and fia, fio, fia. Do, where are we? Fee, 3 and fie, fio, fia. If you're switching into falsetto, fie, fio, fia. Still as open and rich and resonant as you can. Fee, fee. Let's go here, sorry. Fee, 2 and 3 and fie, fio, fia. Do, 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 2, 3. Fia, fio, fia. One more. Do, 2, 3. Fia, fio, fia. Bop. That was about a B flat up at the top. If anyone went for that in chest voice or belt voice, awesome. Good for you. Let's sing some mi, me, ma, mo, mu. Do, 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 do. I'll sing the lead. Mi, me, ma, mo, mu. Mi, me, ma, mo, mu. And notice that I'm doing this for the oo, but I'm also on the M's. When I change pitches, I'm doing so with the M before the pitch. So for example, in baritone, mi, me, notice, mi, me, ma, mo, mu, as opposed to mi, me, ma, mo. The M that is attached to the ma, mo, to that next syllable, is on that same pitch. Mi, me, ma, mo, mu. And notice my oo vowel was too far closed at first. Mu. get it a little bit, just a little bit more open in the jaw, and you get a little bit more resonance. Moo. Without singing louder, you get louder and a little bit more tone that way. Let's sing a couple more. Let's go here. Do, 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 do. Me. Me. Ma. Ma. Mo. Moo. All right, and one more. Me, ma, ma, mo, moo. Very nice. What was I about to do? Oh, that's right. We're going to do the many mumbling mice exercise. And there was something, that's right, I remember. All right, many mumbling mice. Many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Sorry, making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty nice. Many, many mumbling mice. And I think next week we're going to get Zach on to teach us the actual melody to that, so that we can all sing it together. So once again, many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty nice. Many, many mumbling mice. Cool. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty nice. Many, many mumbling mice. And again, we're going to make sure all those consonants have some really crisp sound in them, but they're very quick. The vowel sounds have a lot of continuous tone, and the singable consonants are early and have a little bit of extra intensity on them. So once again, 1, 2, 3. Many mumbling mice are making midnight music in the moonlight. Mighty nice. Many, many mumbling mice. All right, there you go. So here is what we're going to do. I'm going to talk a little bit about Greg, and then I'm going to send you all over to a video to watch while I'm getting him on the call. So Greg Clancy is the guest that we are about to have on the call with us, and he's going to answer some of my questions and some of your questions. A number of you threw a bunch of questions at me in the chat that we just had on Zoom. Christopher sent me a good question earlier as well. And if there's time, if you have any other questions or follow-ups on something he has said, go ahead and throw those in the chat. I'm going to still keep track of those, and if there's something to add on, then we will do that. So Greg Clancy has been a barbershopper for many years at this point. He is the son of Jim Clancy, who is well known to be the director of the Vocal Majority for their first 11 championships. And then Greg Clancy took over as musical director in 2014 or so, and won the international championship in 2014 and again in 2018 as director for both of those. So the chorus now has 13 chorus gold medals, and Greg sang in 11 of them and directed 2 of them. He also was a substitute tenor with the 1973 Quartet Champions Dealer's Choice for a number of years, and gained honorary AIC membership, I believe, as a result of that. But then in 2007, he won the International Quartet Contest singing tenor with Max Q. And so he officially, as a fully fledged member, joined the AIC that way. So an international quartet gold medalist, 2-time chorus director gold medalist, and 11-time chorus singer gold medalist, and just an all-around great guy. So what I'm going to do is send you over to a video of the vocal majority. This was from their championship win in 2018, and I'm going to get Greg on the call while that's happening. So we'll see you all again in a few minutes. Enjoy this performance.
As you live your life, life is bound to teach you that you're half alive until you let life reach you. I have been a machine, push a button and I dance, turn a handle and I sing. Now this machine will fly, and just one guy will wind the spring. Don't tell me not to fly, I simply got to. When someone takes a spill, it's me and I can go. Bring around the clouds to rain on my parade. Don't tell me not to live, just sit and flutter and lights candy and the suns of all of Thunder. Told you you're about to rain on my parade. I'll march your band, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm out your turn at bat, sir, at least I didn't make it hat, sir, I guess I didn't make it, but whether I'm the
All right, here we are with Mr. Greg Clancy. Greg, it's good to have you with us.
Thanks, Drew. It's awesome to be here, man. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it and appreciate you asking.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so glad to have you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the video on our call just in case we get the other issue, but everything looks good here. Jay Hawkins says, practice. That was based on... is this another question? Oh, that's why another question came in. Cool. Okay, great. Well, awesome. So let's jump in. We're really glad to have you with us on our Monday night call here. And so I'm just going to jump in and kind of start asking some questions.
You bet.
And so let's see. We've got the first one was the one that I brought up earlier. So what was it like growing up in the VM as Jim Clancy's son?
My experience with barbershop started with Vocal Majority, and like when I was 10, they would do these good time music shows, and I would go out and run I wasn't in the chorus yet, but this dinner theater had these off nights, like on a Monday night, so the chorus would have a show on a Monday night. It was very casual. People would eat popcorn and drink beer and soft drinks, and chorus would sing in a really casual environment. And I would run the spotlight, and mainly like if there was a quartet. So it'd be like Dealer's Choice would be on, this Granny's Dinner Theater good time show. And I was up there framing them like in, a magenta hue or something. I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But, I just kind of fell in love with the chorus. I'd always loved harmony. And remember when I was 12, doing one of those after a couple of years, Brian Beck came up and said, "Hey, there's a spot in the middle of the front row, I think you'd be great." Dad was kind of like, I don't know. And I was like, yes, so I jumped in, but it was, it was all I really knew as a youth. I didn't, went to our first international, which was Indy, which was the first gold medal for the chorus. So I didn't really have perspective, I guess, about what was going on or that sort of thing, until I got a little bit older.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of hard work. It was fun being in the chorus, back then and in the good old days.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were in the chorus for 30 plus years before you actually started directing the chorus, right?
Yeah.
So over the course of that time, was there a specific point when you knew you were ready to be a director, or was it kind of a gradual progression to get there?
Well, I think it had always kind of been assumed that I would succeed Dad, and not always, but for a long while. And I'd started doing some directing like as early as 89 and trying to get my feet wet. And he was thinking, and this could happen in 2000, and I knew I wasn't ready yet. Mm-hmm. And actually in 2009, he was thinking maybe I would take the chorus to Anaheim that year. And I'd been taking about 8 months off, trying to kind of get some, fresh legs under me and fresh perspective. And I came back and I wasn't ready to be back. Going through a divorce, some career changes, and just a lot going on in my personal life. So I thought, I'm not going to get up in front of this chorus and lie.
Right.
Say, I'm all in. Let's go. I'm ready. And I don't even think I was ready then, Drew, to be honest with you. And I took about 3 years off and kind of getting some fresh perspective and kind of growing, trying to evolve spiritually. And I was a late to mature, as I will say, and the chorus will agree with. And, so I don't think I was ready till it happened, honestly. I think I had things to learn. I had a lot to learn from the Max Q experience, and it just happened when it was supposed to. I don't think it would have been right any sooner.
So that's an interesting, to just kind of jump off of that. What are some things that you learned from your Max Q experience or just from quartetting in general that help you either as a chorister or as the director?
I think it was a lot of watching. So Tony DeRosa had always sung baritone, and Max Q was his first lead experience. So
right.
he was really struggling with kind of his arc of becoming a lead singer, and And then watching he and Jeff and the dynamic, especially early on, because Jeff had always been the leader in his quartets, and Joe had always been the leader in Tony's quartets, and
Right.
Tony felt time for him to assert himself. So there were a lot of like life lessons I learned, a lot of artistic lessons and musical lessons I learned from all three of those guys, that really just helped kind of propel me and made me kind of rethink the art form and rethink music and my appreciation of it.
Cool. Very cool. That's super interesting. So, what are some similarities between your dad's directing style and your style? And then what are some recognizable differences between them as well?
It's interesting. He he would tell you I'm more even than he is in general, kind of by nature. Um, he is. I think I'm just more. I think the similarities are. Let's start there. I think we're both. I learned from him that you have to be authentic and genuine and honest. No games, no pretense. But then you also, every now and then you have to really step up and really lead, in critical moments. But I think I'm a more gentle director. I think I am, and I think I've just kind of tried to continue the evolution of the chorus into just putting joy into the world and being passionate about it, and winning and all of those sorts of things become byproducts. And he was definitely evolving in that direction as well. But I think I've kind of continued it. And I look back in 2014, I don't think the chorus was what you would say mine, and you would know as a director what I mean by that. I don't mean it possessively
Right.
but I don't think it if there was still a lot of reflection of him.
Sure.
And 14, and then we lost in 2017, came in second to the Masters, and we were kind of in our hearts kind of chasing the new performance category, trying to figure it out. And some of the best advice we got was just be who you are and be authentic. And that the 2018 run was when Dad, I finally kind of broke apart from the chorus being his identity,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of becoming more my identity. And and it was a struggle for him because, Jim Miller, Thoroughbreds and all that. It's just their originals, and it's part of their identity and who they are as human beings. And to step out and let go of that's hard.
Right.
And, but so it was a little bit of a struggle, and he would agree. He would tell you the same thing, but it was always with love. And after the contest in 18, he's like, well, he said, you did it your way. And he said, that was the right way. And, I'm proud of it. So that was kind of, it took, and Erin Howden has had some similar experiences, if you know
Sure.
Erin. And her mom, Jean Dale, is very much, she and I are kind of kindred spirits. Her mom had a very strong barbershop director identity, and Erin followed in her footsteps and kind of went through the same thing. So it was kind of a beautiful struggle.
Yeah.
We're never not close, but it just things had to evolve that way for the chorus to trust and believe in me and all of those things.
Awesome. So, are there any specific ways that you feel like it has become your own, and were there some that were more of a struggle to bring the guys with you than others, and some that were just almost no-brainers in a sense where it just worked?
I think, yeah, maybe to a degree, but I think one of the things that the membership has realized is that we all have to, there has to be a definitive vision of what the chorus is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to get unanimous buy-in, and that can be tough. And there were guys that were, Jim Clancy guys, but because of the way he viewed me and opened up, and supported me and loved on me and everything else, they bought into it because he did,
Right.
So it wasn't that difficult. It was more kind of between the two of us and just kind of the dynamic. But, I will say that it's just so important, and it can be a struggle at times, but to ultimately come together and buy in and have, you know, unanimity into what the vision for the chorus is.
Awesome. Great. That's a great answer. I'm trying to look at some of these other questions that we got from some other guys here. So a question a little bit about competition, but then also beyond that. How many members did you have competing in 2018? And also how many members are currently actively singing with the chorus?
So we had about 150 on stage in Orlando, and we have about 140 active right now. We have, you know, we average about 120, 125 on our Zoom meetings. And, you know, I think because now, you know, and we started kind of, you know, taking every 2 or 3 weeks off, and realized that the guys really needed this connection of the chorus. You know, it's the brotherhood, and, you know, Marty Monson was on our call about a month ago, and he said something interesting. He said, you know, that men used to come for the music and stay for the connection. He said, now I think they come for the connection. And, you know, so for us, we're always, you know, one of my jobs, I think, is to always try to keep a carrot in front of the chorus. And so what we're doing, we had started on an album called Imagine, and we've done 3 kind of inspirational, sacred albums, and this is going to be more straight inspirational album that we had started working on. Remember how you used to not say CD, and then you would say CD, and now you don't say CD, you say album.
Right.
things have circled back. But because we had started that, we decided we're just going to continue to populate it, learn the music, and, you know, so it's like, the guys, as soon as we can get out of here and back together, you know, you need to know this music and be ready to sing it and record it and perform it. And so we always try to keep it, and, you know, like you're doing and have done, you know, we have people come on and talk to the guys and try not to make it, you know, too long. It's certainly not as long as a normal rehearsal, but
right.
Keep them engaged, active, and then we have a little afterglow after, and you know, the guys can chat and drink a beer or whatever they want to do and just catch up, and, you know, it's open mic time at that time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we are doing something similar in that we had just developed a show script for any performances that we're going to do, and had just had one time together practicing all the MC spots and everything, and then everything got canceled. And so on some of these Monday night rehearsals, we just run that set. I got the guys who have MC spots to record them, and those are like overlaid over top of the tracks and everything, and so that's been a fun thing for us too, and we're talking about other potential projects as we're going forward. But
yeah, that's super.
Yeah, so awesome. Another question similar to that: how many chapter members are there? So members of the chapter who are not active singing members.
So there are probably about 200. A lot of the guys are emeritus members, and, you know, that they wanted to stay involved and stay in communication. So we probably have about 200 on the rolls, I would think.
Cool. So 200 total, and then about 120 to 150 of those are regular singing members, depending on where we are in the season and all of that. Cool.
Yeah.
Just had a question from a member regarding, you know, what we're doing right now, these Zoom meetings or interviews or things like that. Has the VM started talking about what coming together will look like, and kind of a timeline on that based on everything?
Yeah, you know, we're trying to be very thoughtful and very careful. As you know, I would assume we have guys that are, you know, in certain protected demographics, or they have people at home that are immune compromised, or those types of things. So we're trying to be really smart. I leave that with the board primarily. But we did one interesting thing. So, you know, American Choral Directors Association, the American Choral Groups,
right,
along with up and all that, came out right and said, you know, it's going to be a year or two or whatever. But we just got invited to sing in March for the ACDA National Convention in Dallas.
Interesting.
I'm thinking, so it's, you know, to me, the best part of that was this group that is wrapped up in conservative approach to getting back together and what singing can do is saying we're going to be singing in March.
Right.
So So that made, that to me was the biggest moment of that transpiring. And we're going to try to figure it out. We've got ideas. My daughter just graduated from high school, and they held her graduation at Texas Motor Speedway, which, if you're not into racing, it's like a Talladega. It's one of the, or it's like a big racetrack here in Texas. And they opened up their racetrack to like 25 graduation ceremonies. So the way it worked was all of the people, the families would drive in, park in the infield, so inside the track.
Right.
The kids were on an isolated part on the track, which is angled.
Yep.
And socially distanced. And so we, as family members, tuned into a radio station and then watched the Jumbotron. So we saw our kids walk across the stage, listen to it on the radio.
Wow.
Very live feel. So wouldn't something like that be cool for like a Veterans Day or September 11th, where, we're standing socially distanced in whatever way on this track, and our patrons can just drive right in and watch it and hear it like going to a drive-in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to imagine, right now our spring shows have been pushed twice, but we still have them set for October.
Okay.
And we have our Christmas show. So we're not giving up.
Right.
We're just pushing things a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But we'll definitely err on the side of caution and safety for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that same topic, one of our members, who's a doctor himself, said, when you get back together, have you talked about whether you'll be singing with masks?
That's a super question, and we haven't yet. But all of those things are up for consideration, and that's the tough one, man, as they say, with all this,
Yep, the aerosols and everything.
Aerosols. It's we're going to make sure that our safety comes first. And we just did a project, and we did it. Dad wrote a very simple arrangement of "Lean on Me."
Mm-hmm.
Bill Withers had passed, and when COVID started, I asked him if he could do that and do something simple with it. So we recorded it where everybody recorded their part at home.
Right.
So they had learning tracks, and they played it off one device. They recorded not video, but an audio track. They sent them all in, so we got about 110 or 120 tracks. Put them all in a session like you would do, there on your console.
Yep.
And it sounded surprisingly like the vocal majority. That was what it would sound like, But we did that to kind of put that on the album and mark this moment in time. And I just pray that it's just a moment in time.
Absolutely.
And that we'll merge and, go back to singing. And the main thing that I believe is that people are going to need singing and harmony and inspiration and touching lives more than they've ever needed it.
Right.
So I think, if we just hang in there, what we're doing is going to be essential.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
essential in the terms of getting together, but essential into what the world needs.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I guess we have a little bit of a benefit being a smaller group. It's easier to socially distance as 25 guys than it is as 150 guys.
For sure, man. And there's advantages to being any size. That's a good one.
Yeah, and we're also lucky. I don't know what your situation is, and that's an interesting question to ask too. But we own our hall, and have owned the building for decades at this point.
Yeah.
So we're already looking into adding in the UV filtration in the HVAC system, and even possibly putting in upper room UV lights to clean up the air up around the ceiling and have the fans pull the air up. So all that stuff that they talked about in the call that were like, hey, this is stuff that you could look into doing that would make it a lot safer. We're actually able to take care of as if we're able to.
What a cool idea, man. I've always been envious of you guys having your own space. I think that's super cool. It kind of also, recognizes the tradition of your chorus and brings back, fond memories for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we love it there for sure. So I guess you all rent a space, or?
We rent a space in a Church of Christ in a little town called Coppell, Texas. So yeah, we're kind of beholden to their rules,
right?
And what they do.
Yep. All right. So let's see. We've got a few more questions here. How do you ensure the quality and commitment of your members? And I think specifically on musical and performance quality and commitment.
So it's buy-in, right? So what certainly my philosophy, and not just mine, the music teams and the chorus in general, is to touch lives. And it used to be to win, and you know, and it's really shifted significantly over the years. And so but what I stress to the guys all the time is you can't touch lives unless you have an elevated product. So if the product is not something that people will buy into aesthetically or musically or from a goodness, excellence standpoint, it's going to be harder to sell what's really important on the other side, which is the emotional impact of the chorus. Reaching out and making somebody laugh or cry or think back. And the main thing to me is, as is often taught, is we're not here to convey our experience. We're here to trigger your experiences in your mind and things, bring back memories and make you feel certain ways. So the bottom line is that the technique is a byproduct to that platform, but you got to have it.
Cool.
And it's more fun for the guys.
I'll agree with that.
It's more fun. And when the members hear something and you point out and you go, yeah, now, yes, now we're there. Now let's add this one little extra, they start feeding on that and it excites them. And, to get that enthusiasm and that response. Now we're going,
Right.
Gary Parker based the dealer's choice, coined the term 40 years ago. Hard work is fun when improvement is evident. And I think that those are words that we live by.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Good stuff. Okay, here is people. I've got a couple guys asking questions that are already on here, which is great. Everybody wants to know the same stuff.
Cool.
So kind of along with that, obviously the VM has a name for itself, and that draws people in already. As far as membership is concerned, there are members that join because it's the VM, and I've moved to Dallas, and I'm going to go sing with the VM, or whatever else it might be. But as far as
your base,
yeah, well, and as far as recruiting locally, or just bringing in new people who might be new to barbershop, what are some of your more successful recruitment tools that have just been good for you?
Sure. So for us, Christmas is, probably like most barbershop courses, Christmas is our big driver. Mm-hmm. It's our big driver. So we put our own ad in the program, and the Christmas program, because it's almost like an impulse buy. So when people hear you live and you're like, hey man, we're just a bunch of guys that love to sing, and we work hard at it. But is this something you might be interested in? Is this for you? And people are like, yeah, so we'll have we always have a guest night in January. So usually after our Christmas shows, we'll take the 2 or 3 weeks off, and we'll come back for a night, and then the next week will be our guest night. So, but it usually drives pretty good because we had a lot of men in the audiences,
right,
that love what they hear and think, wow, I could do that. It's so we just try to put it in terms of this finished product you're seeing. It's not. It's constructed by, men that just love to sing and are willing to work at it and, try to be a little bit better every week. And so that's a big one for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've had a few guest nights. We've had a few very successful guest nights. Do you do anything kind of outside of that has been also successful for you, or any other places that you've sort of drawn from, whether it was a surprise or not?
Sure. We have a guy named Brooks Harkey who's a member of our chorus.
I know Brooks very well.
So yeah, Brooks has over 50 Man of Note awards. And Brooks finds these, he goes out and he listens to, these high school theater performances. And my daughter's, been through some of this now as she just graduated. And he'll go out and recruit, and there are kids that are out there that are looking for, a safe place and a place to express and learn from men. I mean, I grew up starting as a 12-year-old with these men who kind of all helped rear me a little bit, And it's a good place to be. And we want to be a very healthy, productive place for young men. That's very important. But we also do a lot of youth outreach. Probably maybe once a quarter, maybe once every 4 months, maybe. We'll do, like we sang this past February at my daughter's high school for a fundraiser. Raised about $12,000 for the school. Built the place up and had 3 or 4 kids come out. They've started a barbershop chorus in that school.
Nice.
Part of their program. So we really try to support the youth, but we really try to do it, with the exception of Brooks, in a way that's we're not out to actively recruit. We want to expose them to this art form and the love of it, and it comes from it.
Awesome. Cool. That's really helpful. All right, I got one last question. This was the big one we talked about earlier. And it might not be that big, but some good insight for us. And so take this kind of in context of all the other things that, the life of the Thoroughbreds that we talked about earlier. So the couple sentences here. The VM is the winningest program in barbershop history, but you hit some competitive hard times in 2009 and 2010, at least by VM standards, and didn't compete then from 2011 through 2013. Then, in 2014, found gold again. What did you learn during that period, and what did it take to get the chapter back to its winning ways? And then second, what advice do you have for choruses trying to grow while maintaining a high standard of musical excellence?
Those are super questions. So I would start on the first part of that with our first big learning lesson was in 1978 when we got beat by the Thoroughbreds. I've been a big fan of your chorus for a long time, and I harken back to those dressed in red, dressed in blue. I think it was 1981 in Detroit. I was a big fan. I had a quartet that was huge called Class the 80s, and we were huge fans of bluegrass music. But we learned that there was an element beyond finesse and good singing, and that was required of our chorus that Louisville had that we did in 78. So that was our first learning experience. What people saw and felt was absolutely as important as what they heard. Mm-hmm. I remember my dad used to tell a story about the Big D chorus in Dallas. John Piercy was the director, and Dad would be listening to them as a young man before even the vocal majority started. And he was like, it's all right. And then the director would turn around at the end of the song and be like, and Dad's like, wow, that must have been better than I thought. It was this projection. But we learned in 78 that propelled the chorus into a new place for us. And we learned in 09, and this is sheer coincidence, but I was gone in 09, going through my own personal stuff at the time, and Dad and Jeff were working with the chorus and had an awesome performance. And then that night, Ambassadors laid out 76 trombones.
Right.
That was just a moment. You had those banners, seminal moments in barbershop contests, and that was one, along with that 81 Thoroughbreds performance and some others. And then 2010, I came back for 6 months because Dad had stated it was going to be his last performance. And I thought the chorus was really, really good. And we sang fairly early, and Westminster sang later, and they ended up winning that contest. Mm-hmm. And I think the chorus had been used to this 3-year cycle, and of having the year off. So they win for. I think the chorus won 30 years, had a 30-year streak. So they'd win and then have this one song and then take the year off. So the chorus, after the 2 second place in a row finishes, and every chorus has its own goals and objectives, which is ideal. But ours was to win those contests, especially sure. Dad's last. So chorus was tired. I'd stepped back out for a while, and they just thought, let's take a break. It's financially difficult to do this year after year. Let's reevaluate. Let's just have get some fresh legs. And then I came back in 2013, And things were kind of like a three-headed monster for a little while with Jeff, Dad, and me. And then we thought, yeah, let's go back in 14. And Jeff had stepped away, and Dad's kind of like, all right, it's time. Let's. So I think part of the reinvigoration was the change in leadership. It had been a while. We didn't really have the focus. So it was like, let's go and let's go after this thing and see what we can do. But, I think the most important thing to kind of do your second question is that whatever chorus experience you choose to have, it's imperative that everybody be pulling the same direction. And in a volunteer group especially, that's when you're going to get, typically, because there's so much passion in it, because people do it because they want to, it's easy for the vision or the mission to get diffused or different. I think it's just, you have to come together and you have to identify. And the problem is, it may not fit what everybody wants. And some guys may be off put, and could choose to leave. But you have, so what I do, let's just put it this way. Every decision that I make for Vocal Majority as a leader is what's best for Vocal Majority. And and then if the collective wisdom of the board suggests otherwise, then I'll bow to that wisdom. But I'll be honest and tell them why I think we should do what we're going to do, what I think it'll reap, what it means to me, what I hope it means to them. But I think as members of especially something that's volunteer, there's two things. You have to all agree that I'm going to buy into this, even if it's not quite what I want it to be. I'm going to set my ego aside. I'm buying in. Let's see what we can do. Would be one thing. And then, just to have that unanimous feeling. And then I think as leaders, our jobs are to make sure that the guys are getting out of it more than they are giving to it. And then, if you can do that, you can kind of create a cycle, I think, of growth and health. But the beginning is, okay, guys, I know there's these 50 ways we could go. This is the way that I think is best for us. Let's do it and see what happens. And everybody buys in. And generally, I think you just yield some really exciting results. Even if it's not exactly what you think, I think that then the journey becomes significant.
You've done it together.
You've done it together, whatever it is. And that experience of jumping in and doing things with other men that are greater than things you could do on your own is what it's all about.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you. And I guess finally, just a kind of a closer, if there's any other thing that you can think of that you would just love to throw out.
Sure. I mean, I admire the thoroughbred tradition. I think that, from just things I've heard in contest cycle and that sort of thing, from things you hear, I think there is that, from what I can tell, this sense of kind of coming together on what the chorus is going to be. But I think, don't always get lost in the result. Get lost in the fact that you are coming together, and in those moments of coming together, and whatever the musical product is, that fellowship. And what I told Marty, our belief, I support everyone in harmony. Vocal Majority is a men's singing organization, and might we have a sub brand someday that's mixed or all female? Yeah. But there's something that we can't yield to in what Vocal Majority is, which is the experience of a man having a safe place to go and being able to set aside his emotional scar tissue that we've all built up over the years and share and be vulnerable and share experiences with other men. And it's a rare find. So I think don't lose sight of the preciousness of what it is you have, that is this communal experience of a fraternal organization. And if you choose to have women involved in it, or we're certainly going to support that, and whatever some choruses may need, they're very small and need female members, and that's all fine. But for us to have a safe place to go and a refuge and a sanctuary of men that are experiencing the same things that we are, the vulnerabilities and the frailties and the weaknesses, is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Greg, thank you so much for coming out and being with us.
Man, it is absolutely my pleasure. If there's ever anything that we can do for your chorus, or to support you guys in any way, don't hesitate. We're all about it. We love the Thoroughbreds. The Thoroughbreds would be vocal majority, and a couple times. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And just the heritage that you guys have. I think I'm sensing a renaissance up there, man. And I think it's going to be a great thing.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much. That's the goal. We're really excited. So lots of passion on this end too. Now we just got to get back together, rein it all in, and make it happen.
Awesome, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Greg, and we'll be chatting again soon, I'm sure.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to hear what the quartet's going to do next. And love to all you guys, man. Love to the Thoroughbreds and all you people that are on this call. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Lots of comments of thanks coming in. So
my pleasure.
Appreciate it. All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay, buddy.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. What is going on here? That's where I want to be. Okay. Cool. I'm going to take these off again. So there you go. Conversation with Greg Clancy. We're going to have a similar one of those with Tony DeRosa coming up soon. And just need to decide when that's going to be and how we're going to do that. So I'm going to talk with Tony about that. That might end up being a pre-recorded thing that I'll then play for you or have available. We'll figure that out. But looking at some other guests to come in too and have some similar interviews, or maybe even come in to do some vocal exercises and things, other fun things to learn new skills and new techniques. So yeah, there you go. I think it is now well past time that we do a little bit of singing. But that said, what I would love from you guys, if you can, after tonight is done, or even right now if you have the time, maybe write down and send me an email with one or two things that you specifically took away from that chat, or learned from that chat. Or maybe something that you feel like you hope I heard and understood, because there are definitely some things that he said that I'm very much taking to heart. But if there's something that you want to make sure that we're still kind of keeping focus on and keeping aware of, please let me know. Because just as he said, we all have to have buy-in on this together. And I can continue to try to steer the ship as best I know how with the team helping lead the way. But without having all of you as members there with us, right on board, doing the same stuff and following that same vision, there's not much else that we can do. So, help me out with that, and we're just going to be good to go. Let's dive in. We're going to sing This Is the Moment. So here I'm going to pull that sheet music up. Where is that hiding? And now that I took my headphones off, I'm going to put them back on again so that I can listen while we sing along. We've got about 30 minutes left of this rehearsal time, so we're going to spend most of it singing with a little bit of kind of rehearsal stuff and reminders in our various songs as we go through. So here is This Is the Moment. Where is the song? There it is. Whoop, there goes my phone. All right. No, 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 no.
Now there is no choice
place I must put aside the fears I feel inside, but there's no place to hide. So it comes to this one big golden chance that only I can take when everything I fought for is at stake, to make the mark that only I can make. This is the moment, this is the day, when I send all my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. This is the moment, this is the time when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming, and screaming become one. This is the day, see it sparkle and shine, when all I've lived for becomes mine. For all these years I faced the world alone, and now the time has come to prove to them I made it on my own. This is the moment, my final test, my test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. This is the moment, the sweetest moment, the time to stand up tall. Looking back, I will recall moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. The greatest moment, moment of them all.
right, man, that's a song. I can't wait to sing that with the chorus again and hear you all singing through that. Such a good song. Definitely a great message. So there are a couple of things I want to point out in this one. Specifically, as we've been talking about the craft rules and about maintaining continuity of tone in craft rule 3, 4, I apologize, I was showing you a 4 and I said the word 3. That's where my brain is today. I want to make sure that we're really getting a lot of clarity in cutoffs and timings of things in cutoffs. So as you practice this song going over the next week or two, try to really focus on when your part cuts off, either just in time, in the tempo when there is a meter going on, or relative to other parts. And I'm trying to find the first example that hit me as we were going through here. So on the second page, where the basses they pick up the melody or at the end of this line. And so, for example, and my point being that the top 3 parts have a cutoff. It's the drywall dust. Yes, Jay, absolutely. And the warmth and other things. But yeah, so the cutoff is right on beat 2, and the timing is kind of weird the way it's written. We don't do it exactly as written. It wouldn't work quite right. But we take a breath when the bass, I say we being tenors, baritones, and leads, take a breath when the basses have the word the. So if basses have, we're in the key of, E here. Is here and now, is here and now today. This is the and when they say that's where the harmony parts, or top 3 parts rather, tenor, lead, and baritone, have a breath. That timing is very important. In this case, you end on a Y, so it's not as critical as when there's a hard consonant, but we should treat all of these cutoffs as if they are all as critical as when there's a hard consonant. So for example, timing for leads, if we just thought of it in the sense of the timing, we have is coming into play, is here and now today. So it's that long. Here and now today. Moment. This is the time. So that length, the impulse would be to just cut it off at the end of beat 3, right on beat 4. Is here and now today. But we go longer and cut off when the basses have the word the. Here and now today. Moment. This is the time. Right? So can we have, anybody can sing along, but leads, tenors, and baritones, I'm going to sing lead. Sing along with me at this point. We're going to start at every endeavor, the second measure on this line, measure 16, pick up to 16. Every endeavor. We're going to start there. When we get to here and now today, make sure we're breathing together on that. Every endeavor. Every endeavor for leads. Every endeavor, if basses want to sing along. 2, 3. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today. Moment, this is the time when the momentum and the moment are in rhyme. Give me this moment, this precious chance. And there's another one, tenors, leads, and baritones, that doesn't need to be as hard, in fact shouldn't be as hard as what I just produced, but it has to happen exactly on that beat. Give me this moment, this versus moment, or moment, and it's too late or too Um, don't go on auto. Do you mean don't go on autopilot? Like, don't stay engaged, Matt? I think if that's your question, then totally agree. Always be engaged, always thinking ahead, not just on autopilot. And that'll help in this situation as you know these different spots where you've got to think about where these cutoffs are. We've got to stay engaged and stay focused on those things. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all of the dreaming, scheming, and screaming become one. This is the day. See it sparkle and shine when all I've lived for becomes mine. For all these years I've faced the world alone, and now the time has come to prove to them I made it on my own. There's another one. Right when the basses have their pickup, everybody else has to go silent right at that spot. On my own. This is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. And there's a spot where we're going to slightly break our continuity of tone on purpose, and that's going to be something we work on and speak together. But let's say that together. Listen one time. Must not fall. And the t for both words is going to have some emphasis. Must not fall. Must not fall. Must not fall. And you hear it has a meter to it. It has a tempo. I won't look down, I must not fall. And then we'll let it loosen up just a hair to be a lot more natural. But if you think of it in that tempo, must not fall, da, 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 da. I must not fall. That'll help, and that's just must not fall. There's more strength and emphasis behind that. So this is the moment, right at the key change, going into the top of the next page here to the end of the song. This is the moment, my final test. Destiny beckoned, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall. This is the moment, the sweetest moment, the time to stand up tall. Looking back, I will recall moment for moment. This was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. Whew. Such a great song. Goodness. So looking for all those spots to really make sure those cutoffs are really clean. Ends of phrases have clean stopping points and all those consonants come in together. That's going to help also with the maintaining the continuity of tone. Because if we're each doing a great job of singing elongated vowels and singing consonants crisply and keeping them short, that's awesome. But if we're putting those crisp, short consonants at different times, then that additively ends up breaking down that continuity of tone. When we do it together, then we have this long amount of tone and then just a quick and then tone again. When we have those consonants at different times, it's tone, 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 and then brrr, and then tone, 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 and we break it up. So we want to make sure that those things are all really crisp and clean. And that goes back to Doug's question way early on in the comments about getting all of those, getting 150 people to snap together. And I'll first say Jay's answer is absolutely correct. Practice, 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 rehearse, rehearse. Everyone knows the tempo. The also other answer is that probably about half of them are just doing this, and only about half of the guys are actually snapping, or even a quarter of the guys, just enough to get the sound. But nonetheless, even if it's a quarter, that's still however much, you know, math and whatnot. What's a quarter of 150? If a fifth of the guys are doing it, and you have 30 guys snapping at the same time, you know, that's still 30 guys that have to do it all together at the same time. So lots and lots of practice and rehearsal. Let us sing New York, New York. And we're going to do so while also practicing the vamp. So here is our E. And there it is. The other parts hold for a half a beat longer. I don't know. I don't know where you're talking about, Matt. Your comment just came in. I don't know if that's from a long time prior. So for now, we shall move on. Yeah, here we go. New York, New York.
Da 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 da.
We are so glad to be here with you all today in wherever we are. But what if we were all somewhere else? You know where I mean, where you can go to your dream, grab the bulls by the horn, seize the day, take big risks, and find your moment.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York, baby, New York. These vagabonds are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York, baby, New York. I wanna wake up in that city that doesn't sleep. I don't wanna sleep and find I'm king of the hill, king of the hill, top of the heap. I'm top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. Gonna make a brand new start of it in old New York, New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it. But anywhere it's up to da 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 da. These little towns are melting away. Brand new start of it in old New York. up to you, da, New da, York, da, New da, 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 New York.
Sweet, good stuff. And there are definitely lots of opportunities in this song for the same things that we talked about, that maintaining continuity of tone and finding those spots for togetherness on those cutoffs and things. In general, this song overall has been a lot cleaner of a song. There are moments where we get a little bit too ruckus and we lose that focus, so we always want to make sure we're keeping focused on it. But in general, I love listening to the chorus sing this song. We've been doing it for a few years now, and it's just a whole lot of fun for us. So good stuff. We're going to sing Precious Lord, and then after that we're going to close with If the Lord Be Willin', and listen one more time to Christopher's MC spot before that. But so for Precious Lord, before we do that, I'm just going to say, Christopher or anyone else, if there are any announcements, go ahead and throw those into the comments. Just getting another comment come in from Matt here. Yeah, boy. Matt, I think your comments are just coming in super late for whatever reason. I don't know if that's on my end or not. But that said, here is Precious Lord. Christopher, if you have any comments, or Eric or anybody else, announcements, go ahead and put those in the comments so that we know those. I'll make a quick announcement about those. And after Precious Lord, we'll sing If the Lord Be Willin' and call it an evening. So here we go again. Precious Lord.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn through the storm, through the night. Lead me on to the light. Take my hand, Lord, and lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, at the river, Lord, I stand. Guide my feet and hold my hand. Take my hand, Lord, and lead
The Colts got to sing that together last week. We had a rehearsal in the hall, all 8 of us spread out quite a ways. And it was really, really awesome to get to sing this song and put it together and realize some spots that needed some work. But overall, a really well-needed experience, and I can't wait to have that experience with all of you guys and to be able to do so properly and safely and confidently. So, that said, board meeting on Wednesday. And I don't know, is that going to be a Zoom board meeting or an in-person board meeting? That can be, I guess, made known. But a reminder of Tenor 1 and Tenor 2 switch notes on the top of page 4. That's a good point. We're going to, thank you, Eric, for bringing that up. We're going to have to rehearse this next time. So if you look at the top of page 4, the very big fortissimo, the FFF on the word stand. Tenor 1s and Tenor 2s are going to switch notes. We figured out that that's actually going to be a whole lot easier for both parts. So we will address that next time, and I will remember to do that. But here, I'll just sing it at you real quick so you know exactly how that is. So for Tenor 1, let me pull up the music on here. It'll be easier for me to see. Whoop, I lost it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Here we go. So we have bop, 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 on at the river. This is Tenor 1. On at the river, Lord, river, Lord, I stand, guide my... And then stand and guide are the same note. So you go down a half step from I to stand. River, Lord, I stand, guide my feet and hold my hand. Cool, so that'll be for Tenor 1. Tenor 2 has gone at the river, Lord, I stand, guide my feet and hold my hand. Right? River, Lord, I stand, guide my feet. So it's a big leap, but it's an easier leap. Lord, I stand versus Lord, I stand, guide. That tritone leap is really funky to hear and get into that 7th of the chord. So it'll be easier voice leading wise for both parts if you swap notes on that. We figured that out at the Colts rehearsal. All right, so board meeting on Thursday. If it's a Zoom call and you want to be on it and be a part of that, then talk to Christopher. Otherwise, that is it for tonight. We're going to close with If the Lord Be Willing, and I'll get information about next week's rehearsal out sooner than later this week. I promise you that. So thanks again, guys. And here is Christopher's intro to If the Lord Be Willing and the pitch, and it jumps right in from his MC spot. Thank you, and have a...
We have had such a wonderful time sharing our music with you. Thank you for having us on today's performance. Please take a minute to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you will be kept up to date with new music and performances from the Thoroughbreds. For our closing song, we'd like to share one of our favorite pieces of music. It is the song we sing to close every Thoroughbred rehearsal and performance, as it speaks to the bonds of friendship, community, and good cheer that we feel every time we get together. Thank you, and we'll see each other again.
If the Lord be willing, be no one. creek don't rise. If the Lord be willing and the creek don't rise, we will all be together once again. With a howdy and a handshake we will start congregating. I can't hardly wait until then. When the good time's over and we all go home, we'll know as we're saying our goodbyes that we'll gather back together if the Lord be willing and the creek don't rise. There'll be beans and burgers and kegs of root beer and songs of good cheer in the air. If the Lord be willing and the skies stay fair, everyone here will be there. When the good time's over and we all go home, we'll know as we're saying our goodbyes that we'll gather back together if the Lord be willing and the creek don't rise. So don't you start a pouting if the day starts cloudy. Think of the friends we all adore, 'cause you can bet your money that it's gonna be sunny. So start praying and praying and praying. Lord, I'm saying, keep the rain away and let us get together like birds of a feather. Back again once more. There'll be beans and burgers and kegs of beer and songs of cheer in the air. If the Lord be willing and the skies stay fair, everyone here will be there. When the good time's over and we all go home, we'll know as we're saying our goodbyes that we'll get together if the Lord be willing and the creek don't rise. Back together if the creek don't rise. The creek don't rise, don't rise.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the questions for Greg. Really glad to have him on and get his insight. And we're gonna get some more of that kind of input and chat and information going forward. So thanks again, and I will see you all next week.